Tonight she's going to speak on advocacy, economic empowerment, and escape. The focus will be on financial independence as a pathway to live abusive environment, which our first speaker, I think she mentioned it also. That's one of the reasons why you see most women trapped in such marriages.
I'm here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm here.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. If you're with me, kindly type in the chat, I am enough. So I know that we're all here together. I'm Barrister Adezefe Samuel. I'm a lawyer. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm a strategic communications and brand consultant. I'm also a reproductive health, rights and justice consultant and advocate, amongst many things. And today, this evening, I'm going to be taking you through my own papers because yes, Prof is really under the weather. So this is what I love to talk about. So we're going to go into it very deep. If you have your pen and your paper, this is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like, you need to get your pen and paper ready. Let's go. So usually there's a myth we have as in our community, especially with the rise of the digital age, that financial independence will completely protect you from abuse. It is a myth, because like anything that is a pathway, the way you can walk forward, someone can also be dragged backwards. So and lovely to see all the messages. Thank you for sending them. So I want us to get that clear. So now, this evening, we're going to go through a strategy on how you can walk the path without being dragged back. Now, so first things first, you need to understand that we see this a lot. People who are stakeholders in preventing and intervening in sexual and gender-based violence, or people who are responders to domestic violence, like Barrister Amara, the head of FIDA at Anambra, had mentioned, where due to financial dependence, many victims do not even report cases. When they do report cases, they sabotage the justice process. We see this as that financial dependence is oftentimes not just about poverty. Sometimes it is a form of abuse open in front of everybody's face that people don't even realize. And it's oftentimes a systemic form of abuse that happens right from the start, when often a partner meets the other abusive partner. So I want us to take note of that. So we're doing today recognition, we're doing prevention, we're doing intervention, and we're doing how do you move on if unfortunately you are realizing that you are being closed into a spider web of financial abuse. First things first, let's talk about what the law offers you as protection. Nigeria has a robust legal framework. I had that in my presentation, but Barrister Amara covered it all, so there's no point in me going more deeper. But I want to highlight a few things that will protect you from financial abuse and offers you some form of comfort. Number one is you need to understand that when you look at the VAT Act of Nigeria, it's not completely domesticated in all the states, but you should check if it's domesticated in your state. But the VAT Act offers you protection from financial abuse. In the form of that, it offers punitive measures to whoever who does that. It also stipulates that if a woman experiences abandonment, the husband, 2 weeks to paying school fees, he disappears from the house for 2 months. She can take it to the nearest family courts and have that sorted out, where the family court will then work with legal representative and stakeholders and advocates to get you rewards that you can use to do other things. Another thing to do I live in Lagos State, so I will focus on Lagos State right now. In Lagos State, we have the Domestic Violence Law of Lagos State 2007, which specific sections define not only domestic violence, but go a step further to empower the courts to give you protection orders, like Barrister Amara had mentioned. So things like, you want to safeguard the sanctity of your business environment. You are going through separation, you've reported a case, or you've not even reported a case, you are being bullied and hounded by family members. Go back to this man now. People are built so much in Lagos, so you want to walk away with half of it. Things like that, with partner coming to harass you at the office place, you can go before the court for protection order to safeguard your business premises, for example. You can also use it to safeguard your own home, so you're not kicked out of the home, especially if you are a woman who has children, or a man who is the main person who is offering care to the children. It could work both ways. There's also access to monetary relief when a person has experienced violence and it has gone through the process of justice and things like that. So you also have certain stipulations within the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency Law of Lagos State that protects you from your identity from being publicly out there, and also the privacy of your children. So they are not sent on WhatsApp group. If a video goes viral, it can be pulled down and you are safe. This is very important for women who are into business, and if you're thinking of offering legacy, we're still going to get into the strategic visibility and social power to safeguard your financial independence. But I wanted to highlight these key legal provisions. So now let's move on from that. Sustainable financial independence, safeguarding against emotional and financial abuse. So as I said earlier, oftentimes financial abuse is a silent part of the abuse system, because it's oftentimes a system that a perpetrator rather carries out on a victim. And rightly said so by Reverend, a lot of things are rooted in cultural norms. So it becomes very important to be very strategic. Marriage is not only a romantic, emotional or social bond, it's actually a legal status. So when something is a legal status, for example, like when you are a citizen of Nigeria, it comes with rights, benefits, responsibilities and things like that. Like you're a citizen, right to pay tax, to vote, same thing with a legal status that marriage brings. So you need to be just as strategic as men are with marriage. I'm focusing on marriage right now because oftentimes many abusers hide themselves until that legal status has been given to them. Then they completely explode other aspects of the abuse network they've not shown before. But there are always oftentimes there are signs like emotional abuse and mental abuse, which was mentioned earlier. So you need to, only someone who is emotionally grounded, mentally stable, is able to diligently not only attain but sustain financial independence. And so, which is why when I have conversations with younger women and we're having panel conversations with young advocates, you can see with some of the experiences they share, even within just being university students, they're already experiencing emotional and financial abuse subtly from their romantic partners. And they're also gender advocates. I'm just trying to say this to let you know that it's a very subtle thing, and because most of things is subtle, is systematic, and most of these things are somewhat embedded in negative, harmful cultural norms, most people don't know. And like Dr. rightly said, most perpetrators are not okay. They are also reenacting patterns from their childhood that they've learned about what power is in relationships and things like that. So I wanted to mention that. Now, how do we safeguard your financial independence? It's actually a combination of a couple of things. You alone, you're not one alone against many is not enough. You need a team. So that's where advocacy comes in. That's where SGBV intervention frameworks come in. And that is where economic empowerment comes in. So under this, I'm going to list points. Number 1, wield emotional power, drop the prey mindset. Number 2, professional life skills to excel in business. Number 3, strategic visibility and social power to safeguard financial independence. Number 4, utilize legal protection against common financial abuse. And number 5, economic empowerment. So let's run through it. If you're still with me, type in the chat, drop the prey mindset. Now, what is the prey mindset? We see this a lot. People talk about how women don't talk. It's because of shame. Shame has been used as a social cultural tool of control of women as a class. Now, your host right now, your panelist right now, she's a researcher, so we're going to go deep into many fields. Just go with me, don't worry. I hold my hands, you won't get lost. Now, we see a situation where, because shame has been used as a social cultural tool against women as a social class, not as a gender now, as a social class. So most women, when they are raised, they are not raised with the accountability measures that men are raised. Instead, they are raised with psychological measures like shame. When you don't do something, shame. Nobody holds you accountable. Nobody teaches you about discipline, responsibility, accountability that centers your own well-being. Instead, shame. So when that framework is running at the back of a woman's subconscious mind and is running her nervous system, she would always be in a stressed emotional baseline, leading to the prey mindset. You think you're going out about wearing the best makeup, doing the best you can, but to somebody who is an abuser, you smell like the freshest Ramadan meat that just came off the stove. And how does this prey mindset manifest? Manifest in low self-worth, always second guessing yourself, handing over your power to make decisions to others. It's as simple things that you ask your roommates, so the pink dress or the yellow dress, why are you giving your power away? Why are you giving your ability to make a decision away? An example like what Dr. Iberi said about women giving their whole salary to a man. That's the part of handing over your emotional power, handing over your power. So the key way to stop this prey mindset is you activating a couple of things I'm going to list. Number one, understand that you are abundant. God, like it says in John 10:10, I'm here to give you life and life abundantly. That is your default because you are made in the image of God. You are abundant. Nothing is missing. Once there's lack, once you detect lack consciousness, you detach from it because it's not your original frequency. That is what you need to be arming and protecting our mind, guarding our hearts very diligently, like it is war. Like I'm telling you, like this is war. Okay. So number 2 is you need to understand self-preservation. You need to shift from being reactive to proactive. Self-preservation means you matter. You matter the most. Why do I say you matter the most? There's an energetic responsibility women hold in relationships that only they can achieve, which is why there's emotional labor sometimes can lead to emotional abuse and mental overload. Why? Because there is a way we've been socialized, again, women as a social class, not just a gender now, but also as a gender now, to hold certain energetic dominance. One may not be accorded the benefits of those dominance, like you running the home, making the decisions, holding all the calendar at the back of your head, knowing who is your third child's school teacher, when is the birthday, knowing when the malam down the street that let you owe egg for 2 weeks, when his wife is giving birth. All those emotional labor, all those things, they bear their cost. So when you're a woman who is proactive and you run from self-preservation, you understand that without me, the world would crumble. And I am my world, so I have to make sure that I am good. Because when I'm good, I feed a nation. When I'm good, I take care of a community. So that is another point to drop the prey mindset. Heal your self-worth, and then you need to build your emotional intelligence, regulation, and management. Why am I talking about all of this? If you're not emotionally grounded, you can't. That is why many women can't sustain a lot of things, because you can't be able to set financial boundaries. Financial boundaries are rooted in emotional strength, emotional power. So let's move on to the next one. The professional life skills you need, there are a couple of them. One is your ability to make sure that your reproductive health is in good shape, because your hormones impact your decision making, your gut impacts your decision making, your womb impacts your creativity. If you're a businesswoman, if you're a woman who is in a career, you need all these things. Your gut impacting your emotions, your reproductive, all of these systems, you need them in check, in place. So you need to have that life skill of knowing how to make sure your hormones are balanced and your womb is in a good shape. You need to be able to manage your energy and your time. I mentioned emotional intelligence. You need faith and vision alignment, creativity, so many other things, critical thinking. Like I myself, I'm a lawyer, I'm an entrepreneur. During my clarity strategy session, that is what I help women work through, setting up these life skills. I've seen women transform their lives, their businesses, and their relationships with this. So moving on from that is you need to industrialize a skill you have right now. We are in the era of the wisdom and industrialized skill set age. We've shifted. We're not just only in the tech boom age anymore now. We've shifted. So you need to find a way to industrialize a skill. It could be something simple, how well you clean your home, something simple, and your community becomes your market to dominate. Please. I never got it when somebody's poor. Let me tell you, if you know the things that I've done in my life, do you understand what I mean? You can't be poor. You are abundant, remember. So moving on from that is you need to get financial and investment literacy. Back to the comment I made about how women are not socialized as a social class the way men are. So they have access to certain information that is very normal for a man to have, that a woman doesn't have. And that's where abusers take a hold on their victims. They tell you, don't worry now. I've been buying stocks at First Bank for many, many years. Let me just buy it for us. You don't know anything. You don't know what a stock certificate looks like. You don't know anything. You don't understand anything. You think you have a bank account for your child that is on the way. There's nothing. So financial and investment literacy is very important. Then we need to get the skill of digital marketing using AI and tech and social media. Now, if you're already running a business and it's successful to a particular extent, you need to include gender inclusive or responsive frameworks in your business. Remember, you're building a legacy. That is why you're doing all this self-preservation and you're wielding your emotional power. to build a legacy to leave, to sustain, not just only build, but build one that is sustainable. That is the way you really make sure you're not dragged back the path of financial independence to financial abuse. Moving on from that is strategic visibility and social power to safeguard your financial independence. There's one thing I noticed about powerful women: they're always visible. Fame is a shield, and we're lucky to live in the modern world. Things like using social media, making sure your business has legitimacy, keeping access to all your passwords, making sure all your documents are safe. Sign a prenup, please. Sign a prenup, please. Keep your documents to yourself privately. Document your activities. Make sure that you have your own private account, mostly possibly a high yield investment account. You can have one for joint family runnings. You can have one for whatever, contributing money to family. Have something that is privately yours. And there's so many other things like that. When it comes to economic empowerment, the focus here should be on you utilizing the economic resources available from you, from the government, from the private sector, and also from intervention that has been built by NGOs and CSOs around you. So my full paper would be available on LinkedIn. I can't go through everything right now. So yes, I would let Reverend know about that for people who are interested in the full paper. Thank you so much for listening. And remember that you are abundant, you are enough, and you wield your emotional and financial power diligently.